Hi guys. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute since I've sat down and yapped. I also rewatched some of my old videos and I realized I've gotten shy on here. I don't know why I'm so shy all of a sudden, and I'm like scared as if like 5 videos ago I wasn't like really yappy and extroverted. I've been overthinking a lot about videos, and also that mixed with being super busy and working a full-time job, it's been difficult to navigate making time for YouTube videos, getting creative. But I remember we used to sit and just talk about anything and everything. My hair, she's back to black. She's getting pretty long. She's in 2-strand twist right now. But today we are not talking about me, which we usually do. I just want to talk about something that's been going through my mind like crazy in the last few weeks, especially with one of my New Year's goals or 2026 goals was to be more active on YouTube and to sit and chat and just be present and be here. I've spoken a lot about being present on this channel in my older videos, and I just want to go back to that more authentic style. I'm not built for vlogging because as exciting as my life can be, my first thought isn't always to like pull out a camera and record. I have to be really intentional and kind of build a day around vlogging, and I don't want to do that. So we are going to be talking about something that I'm pretty sure I came up with this, but I wouldn't be surprised if other people have also thought about this. I've not done any research, that's why we're just going to yap. But if you do end up doing research about what I'm speaking about today and you make a video or you talk about it on the internet, then yay. So I have been thinking about especially like these specific words. Virality does not equal stability, but personality can bring in community. A lot of T's. So with this, I mean that people will have a viral moment and trying to keep building off of that. And so whenever I thought of that like long sentence, virality does not equal stability, but personality can bring in community, the prime example I can think of is Brittany Broski. Brittany Broski, if you don't know who she is by name, back I think during COVID, she is the girl who was on TikTok and she tried kombucha for the first time. And she was like, I don't like that. But then she was like, well, I do kind of like it. And then she was like, no. And then she was back and forth. And it was a really funny moment that went viral. However, she didn't try to keep building off of this one moment, recreating it with different drinks, but she didn't try and keep building on this one thing that took her far. And so if you look at Brittany Broski now, she does music, she has a podcast, and she's very authentic, but she's also found her niche. And the reason I say I tack on at the end, but personality can bring in community, it's that one moment was just a sliver of her personality. However, you get to see such a wide range of her and who she is and what she stands for in her podcast, on her other channel where it's very like medieval themed. And then you think of someone like Backpack Kid or just different moments. Even Kylie Jenner, when she woke up stormy and was like rise and shine, she even tried to make a whole branding out of that, even though she was already famous. And so I think it's great to have viral moments, but to depend on that is just unrealistic, I think, especially if you want to build longevity in a career of social media. And when I think about my YouTube channel, I always have to look at like, what's the underlining theme of what I stand for, the kind of content I want to create. I already said at the beginning of this video, I'm not built to be a vlogger. I like to sit down and yap, and this is how I build connection with people. But for me, I think I convey myself best when I'm sat down and I can just talk and share ideas. And so when I think of YouTube, I think of community. In my Get Ready With Me and Yap video, I spoke about how I've been on the internet, and especially with YouTube, for the longest out of every social media app. I mean, I go on Substack every now and then, I go on Instagram, I go on Pinterest even, which I've spoken about, and I love Pinterest. But YouTube has been the one, I guess, social media app that I've always come back to because I love long form content. I find short form content jarring almost because it just doesn't give me enough context. It doesn't give me enough time to get to know someone unless someone is making a get to know me video. But I think that's why I've not really done like a get to know me, because I could sit here and tell you like where I went to school and my favorite colors, but that's not the depths of knowing someone. That's why I feel like when I've made my videos be like 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long, which not everyone wants to watch, but I kind of like it in a way like you can put me on in the background and kind of still live your life. That's why I think I can build community on here. Now, of course, community also comes with consistency. I've not been the most consistent. Sorry about that. But I think that's also me being authentic. Like, I don't want to sit down every week and think, damn, what do I need to speak about this week? Like, I have no ideas. And so that's why when something like this, virality does not equal stability, but personality brings community, that has been playing on my mind on repeat for the past few weeks. And I think it's something that needs to be shared. A lot of people get very poetic on the internet, which I love, and I think it shows the depths of people's minds. But I think people sometimes make content that is made to be viral and made to be quotable. I read the article about, is having a boyfriend embarrassing? And I think what the internet is struggling with right now is reading comprehension. We can read things and be like, okay, but do you actually understand what they're trying to convey? Shantae Joseph wrote the article, is having a boyfriend embarrassing? And I think that was a perfect example of people just not understanding or choosing to act brand new. She didn't say that having a boyfriend is embarrassing, but surrounding your life about being with a man, and especially being with a man who doesn't treat you right, that's embarrassing. And so people were acting brand new and saying, oh, like it's just so clickbaity, or oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about, or oh no, having a boyfriend isn't embarrassing. But if you read through, she's not saying that because you have a boyfriend it's embarrassing, but to build a whole life around a man, especially a man that does not cherish you or appreciate you in the way that maybe you deserve or you think you need to be treated, that's embarrassing. And I think she even spoke about in the article how female influencers, when people found out that they had boyfriends, you know, people didn't want to follow them. People didn't want to interact with their content. They said that having a boyfriend makes you less cool, makes you less mysterious. And I think there's always like, it's a double-edged sword, that kind of conversation. But the reason why the internet can sometimes feel, or social media can sometimes feel so draining, is because people are having very surface level conversations. And I find that very jarring. Whereas with long form content, for example, I think I've spoken about Ava before on my channel because I really do enjoy her content. I've watched her for 5 or 6 years maybe. Hold on, how long has she had her channel before I say 7 years and she's only had it for like 3? Hold on. I think I've literally watched her video. I've watched Ava's videos since she had like 2 videos up. 6 years ago. Okay, I was right. I've watched Ava Malocia's videos for literally since she started her YouTube channel, when she had like 2 videos on there. I think her first video is when she went to Italy, and then one of her videos that blew up and had over 1 million views was when she worked in Brandy Melville, and she would just do like vlogging style videos. But I found that in the last few years she's been very open and honest and authentic, which has brought in community by talking about how she feels. She lives, to the naked eye I guess, a very wonderful life. She's from Canada, she's from Montreal, she goes traveling a lot, she works with brands a lot, she's always with friends, she's out partying. But then she's also very real about, the last 2 weeks I've not felt like myself. Like, I have a bit of anxiety in this place. Like, I feel very attached to people and I want to hang out with people all the time. That's what I find I get most drawn to. And so when I do share parts of my life and I do speak on this channel, it's not from a space of, this is my life, take it as it is. I share all parts. I made a video about having a boyfriend for the first time and how that experience was, and obviously I had like 20 subscribers at the time, so like 20 people maybe around the world were listening. To kind of round off what I'm saying and about virality, community, personality, stability, those 4 very big words, I love this kind of content. I consume this kind of content and I love making this kind of content, but I never feel like I have to shave off parts of my life or my personality to appeal to others. People might watch my videos and think, what is she yapping about? And then people will think, I totally get her. I have my vision board on my wardrobe, which is just to the right of me, and I look at my vision board every day and I think, okay, this is what I want to achieve, this is where I want to be in life. And I think when I look at my goals, I have to make sure that my mindset also aligns with that. And that even goes into what I put out into the world. I would not do a photo shoot of something that I didn't care about because I'm hoping that people will just like it. And it feels like a really simple conversation. Like, of course, be authentic, or of course, be yourself. Of course, make things that you want to make. But I think with social media, especially with Instagram and TikTok, where it's always been short form content, photos and videos of your life, curation is the word. I still love having a YouTube channel. I still want to make content. I still want to be here. I still want to yap with you guys, and I still want to spread and share my ideas. But I think I overthink concepts too much, and I think what would people want to listen to. And I think it's partially because sometimes I can just say a lot of BS, and sometimes I'm just kind of yapping and I'm just like talking a lot about nothing, and I just like to put out things with substance. But I also think like I want to create videos that create conversation, and I want to have conversations with people that makes them think, which a lot of people want to do, but I want to have conversations that make people think and can also implement what they've learned from a conversation in their everyday life. So yeah, I really like the direction of social media where people are being more intentional. More people want to have YouTube channels. I was actually getting a tattoo touch-up, which you guys would have seen in my last video in my vlog. And Elise, I love her down. She's done 2 of my tattoos and I love them. But she was talking to me about how she wants to build community on YouTube because she feels like it's a little bit difficult to do that on Instagram. She will do her normal tattooing content of like videos and like prepping for a tattoo, but then she'll also do like her outfit of the day. And I love that intertwining of two, of the lifestyle and also job and career. And I also read another article which was shared by What Zara Loves. I really like her content too. She's usually the girl who is she's Scottish, she moved to London, she makes videos on the bus and she talks about pop culture, but also just different ideologies. Recently, she made a post about people are moving away from dating online and just collecting more, not even in a romantic sense, in real life, creating spaces to connect with people and make friends, romance, any way to build community, which also means stability and people to support you. But back to Elise, she was like, I just want to feel like I have a bit more of a community and build a community on YouTube. So naturally I say I have a YouTube channel. I do it because I love it. And I do it because I like to sit and talk and conversate with people. And she was like, okay, I love that. I love reading comments of people, you know, saying they like my videos. Like naturally, like I love that. But I also just like making videos that I watch back. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've sat in bed and I haven't posted in a while and I go and watch back my own YouTube videos and I'm giggling and I'm laughing because I'm crazy. I love the content that I put out because the kind of content that I would want to consume. So yeah, I love when people start off a video and immediately they're talking about their ideas. A lot of people, not everyone, that's a stretch. A lot of people love social media and want to make it their main source of income. But I've spoken about this before where I love that I have a job. I love that I have a job outside of YouTube because I do take a break. I do not always have an idea of like what I want to record and what I want to put out. And that actually makes me go a little bit crazy and makes me not want to make videos even more. So yeah, that's basically it. That's how I see it. That yes, you can have a viral moment. Yes, it can be gorgeous, amazing, beautiful. But like, if you can't show out after that one viral moment, it's difficult to kind of depend on others to want to continue to support your content if it starts to feel maybe very samey. That's the video. That's what I want to share. That's what I want to talk about. I do want to yap more on here because I haven't done that in a minute. And I realized in my last few videos, I've come across as like really shy. I've forgotten my roots. I've forgotten my roots. Little life update. I've started a new job. I don't know. I posted this video back in September last year about how I sort of kind of was like let go from my internship. Yeah. And I posted it and one person disliked the video. I was like, you're a hater. But I also took the video down because I knew I was like applying for jobs. I started a new job and I'm working in the music industry, which is really exciting. And I love my job. And I don't think I've ever said that ever in my life. I love my team, even though it's rotational, but I love my team. I love the community, and 5 days of the week I'm working. So that's why it might take me a minute to put out some videos, guys, and to think. And it's difficult because a lot of my weekends are spent literally resting to recover from the week I've just had and to prepare myself for the week that's coming up. So I'm thinking of YouTube videos. However, I start overthinking and then I don't want to do anything. That is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be back more consistently soon. Let me cook. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Mwah.